Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. The weekend is in touching distance, isn't it? Just round the corner. But this week I've got some real live music withdrawal symptoms. Normally at this time of the year, the season's finished. I'm sort of looking forward to my concerts. It's a big part of my life, music concerts. It's a bit of a passion of mine, something I thoroughly enjoy. I look forward to concerts more than football, truth be told. I don't mean every football game. There's special occasions where, you know what I'm talking about. Home to Burnley or a concert. I'm going to the concert. You know what I mean? I love them. So I was meant to be going to see Kasabian and Leicester, which is sort of on my music bucket list. I've seen Kasabian a few times, but not in Leicester. And I've always wanted to see them in Leicester. So I was finally getting to do it this summer. But nah, that's been taken away. Liam Gallagher, Heaton Park's been taken away. It's a bit. The next one's in September. Anyway, you haven't tuned in to hear me complain about lack of music. It's just been getting me down today for some reason. Been listening to live music concerts. Anyway, Premier League training it's back. It's been back, but full contact training is now back. Got voted yesterday. I think all 20 clubs voted aye to the full contact training. So here we go. It's a step closer to Project Restart. There's a big meeting today with the clubs again. It's about other stuff now. It's about when they're coming back. The 19th of June is the favourite. I think they might push it back to 26th, and I'm actually hoping they do, just for fitness work, which I'll get onto in a second. It's the main part of the video. And then they're deciding what happens if the league doesn't go ahead. Does it get voided? Does it go to points per game? So that's a big one for West Ham. I'm not going to go into it because we know the implications. We stay up or we go down. Depends what system they use. So we'll leave that until it comes out. But full contract training is ticked off. Here we go. And I think it's crucial we get up and running quick, that we get back to training and we start ramping up, I suppose, the pressure on the players a little bit, but a different type of pressure. I don't mean pressures in you must play now, not that kind of pressure, but the pressure of you must get fit now. You must, this is, I called it a pre-season. A couple of people said it's not pre-season, but to me it is a little mini pre-season. This, I know we're not playing friendlies and stuff, but we've got 3-4 weeks to get as fit as possible, as close to March sharp as possible. Everyone that's watching this has probably played football, and you'll know there's a big difference between being fit, i.e. you're able to run for a long distance and be fine, and being match fit, which is just sharpness on the ball, being a little bit quicker off the front foot and stuff. So there's a big difference, and we can't really impact the second one. I suppose you can in terms of training, trying to set up training matches and try and replicate like a friendly as much as possible. But we have to get the fitness one crucial. I'm going to do a video neither at the time about the Bundesliga and what I've noticed, because I watch a lot of football. I've watched about 15 games in the German football so far, and I'll watch more. So the more I watch, better, because I'll have a bigger pool. I'll have a bigger example to take my conclusions from. But early on in match week 1, Frankfurt and Werder Bremen were the two last clubs to go back training in Germany, and it showed. That's all I'm going to say without going into too much detail. So I was a bit concerned that we have Wolves up first, assuming they stick to the same fixtures, which would make sense. We will have Wolves, and Wolves have been trying to keep an eye out on the sounds coming out of clubs, if you like, the noises as to what they're saying about going back and what their managers are saying. We know Pep doesn't want to go back, understandably. We know that Frank Lampard's not very keen. We know Watford have got issues, but we also know that Roy Hodgson's keen to go back. We know that Sheffield United are alright to get going. Wolves, I've noticed that they were quite like brushing off a little bit. Let's get back, let's get going again. That concerns me if that's our first opponents. That would insinuate to me that they are ready, mentally already, and they've been in training for, I think they've been in training longer than us, or I say they've been doing it within government guidelines, but I do think they've been a little bit, I don't know, we'll wait and see. But for West Ham's training, there's been a few, when they went back a couple of weeks ago and they started doing it in pairs, and we got told that everybody that was expected back at training turned up. Now I'm a bit sceptical, so I tend to read what's not there. So I read, well, that doesn't say everyone's at training, that says everyone's expected. So who's not expected? Now when the Ngakia news broke, if you watch the first video, when we were talking about the news itself, I said, I wonder if Ngakia is not at training because he wouldn't have been, maybe he wasn't expected. Now he is at training, okay, he's getting on with it, and I actually think he's going to be part of the remaining games. Actually, I know there's a lot of noise suggesting that he's going to leave, he's maybe been tapped out, but I've got a feeling he might sign a new deal or even an extension to cover the remaining 9 games, but we'll wait and see. But he's at training. So, who's not at training? Well, there's a couple of uncertainties. Ajeti and Lanzini are uncertainties. We're not really sure. They're not in the training videos or the training photos that we have seen, but there's nothing confirmed about either of them. I say confirmed, I'm not referring to the club here, I'm referring to people who speak to people at the club and so on. So we don't know about those two as yet. But Antonio's not there. He's been given an extended leave because his father passed away during all this, not with the virus, but he had long-term health issues and he unfortunately passed away. So Antonio's been given an extended compassionate leave, which makes sense, but he's a big miss. He is a big loss. He's going to be a key player for us in the next 9 games. So that's already a bit of a concern that we're going to have Antonio at training immediately. It's no one's fault, but it's a concern. But the other 2 people that are missing is Ogbonna and Creswell. And they have been confirmed. To be fair, it's Express employee that's confirmed this, that they are injured. The word is injured. Now, this is my own theory. This is not from X or Clarence Hugh. This is none of them. This is my own theory. And that is, I don't think they are injured. I think they don't want to come back. I don't think they're comfortable yet. Creswell's been very vocal from the word go. He was one of the first players in the Premier League to speak up and say, and he used the word petrified, and that's a very strong term. I don't think I've ever used it in my life, but it's a very, very strong term. So it's no surprise if Creswell's got concerns and doesn't wish to return as yet. And Ogbonna as well was one of the first ones to speak up, but then because it was really bad in Italy initially, wasn't it? They were the ones that were really bad, and Ogbonna raised his concerns as well. So then the club are covering it up, which is good. I do think it's good. And like I said, they might actually be injured. This is my own theory here. But when does Ogbonna get injured? He's one of our most reliable players, I think. But you have to cover this up, and it's almost like a social media pressure in a way, because every time a player tests, we've seen now there's been more positive tests, and we don't know who yet, and we probably won't find out, which is fine. But you just see the replies. Oh, I bet it's a bottom 6 team, blah 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 blah. Because there's this sort of false outrage that the bottom 6 don't want the season to continue a little bit. I was pleased to see Mariappa speak up on Twitter, the Watford centre back, because somebody, when the last round came out saying there'd been positive tests, and someone said, oh, but it's from bottom. Mariappa quoted it and basically said, I'll tell you what we do, we're all taking it in turns, we're drawing names out of a hat, and someone's injecting COVID-19 into their system so that we don't have to play the football. And I'm glad he did that. It's about time one of these footballers just told the rest of them to piss off. It's just a strange thing. So I wouldn't be surprised they're not there because of it. And we won't be the only club that's impacted by this. Every club will. Like I said, Watford's the worst one, you imagine anyway, with no Troy Deeney. But at training, we've got Ben Johnson and Alexander Silva. They are training with the first team now, which makes sense. With no Creswell, we need Ben Johnson, possibly Ngakia leaving. We definitely need Ben Johnson. So it's interesting to see Alexander Silva in there. Maybe that's tied into the Antonio thing. Yarmolenko's back. Jack Wilshere's back. They're both training as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that Moyes will be able to call on them. But this is crucial. This period between now and the 19th of the 26th is crucial to get ready. We have to hit the ground running. We are in a relegation battle. As soon as that season resumes, the kickoff starts. That is it. But the way they're structuring the Premier League on its return is going to increase the pressure. By what I mean by that is the proposed schedule, if you like, is that on a Saturday we're going to see games at 12, 2, 4, 6. They're staggering the games for TV consumption. Repeating it on the Sunday. They're going to have midweek games on 6 and at 8 so that we can spread over the evening for people to watch. Now that's all very good and well for the broadcasters, but in terms of playing football, this is where it gets a bit... I don't like it. I don't like it because, in the last game of the season, everybody plays at the same time so no one has an advantage. Which makes sense, but what we're doing now is we're staggering it so much that West Ham could play first on our Saturday, get beat by Wolves, and then all of a sudden, Bournemouth, Watford and all that have their next game, knowing that actually a point is almost enough short term because West Ham have got beat. Whereas normally there'd be a lunchtime kick-off, then at most we'd play at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, 1 evening and 2 on a Sunday. It would just be a bit I don't know. It's hard to explain. I just think there's almost like a more of an advantage coming in. Depends when you play, I guess, and what the other results are. So it's a bit of a strange one, this staggered schedule. I think there's far too many things that's going to make this 9-game block non-Premier League, if that makes sense. It's definitely not the season we know of it. But everything comes back to one thing for me, and that is training. Between now and then, training is incredibly crucial. In terms of West Ham, in my lifetime, that's certainly the last decade or something, this is arguably the biggest 4 week we've got of training, because we're getting ready for a 9-game block, and you do not want to get relegated this season. The financial repercussions are just disastrous for any club at the best of times, but definitely not in these times. So yeah, that's it really. It's what I talk about training, let you know who's back, who's not back, put my own thoughts on it, because this, fingers crossed, Moyes has got a massive plan between now and then, because those who are best prepared, I think, will start the season a little bit quicker than the rest, and those who aren't prepared, and for whatever reason, this is going to sound bad and it sounds harsh, and like I said, I don't like the idea of this, but I do think ourselves, Bournemouth, Brighton, Villa, Norwich possibly have an advantage over Watford at the minute, and that is we can start quicker because their players are a little bit unsure about training. They've had a positive test last week as well. No captain, no Troy Deeney, no striker. We've got an advantage and we need to take it. It is brutal and I don't like it, but we have to, because one thing's for sure, football, it's on the horizon. It's not far away. Anyway, if you've enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. It's Scout new around here. We'll be back very, very soon with another video. Keep well, keep safe, and I'll see you in a bit.